So they come back out on track, and hopefully the first stop check should be soon.
Yeah, let's see if they can all get out of the pits.
Yeah, I think they should be fine. Lunatic out, Genesis. I mean, if Lunatic can do it, then surely everyone else can. Lana's out, Vopsy, yeah, I think it'll be fine. So I reckon 5 minutes till first stop check.
Yeah.
So just to let you know, we've got 4 teams in the championship. We've got, well, 4 manufacturers: Aston Martin, Porsche, BMW, and in fact it's 6 this season, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
So obviously we've got Mercedes, BMW from last season. Then we've got Alfa Romeo. Then got Aston Martin. We've then got Jaguar as well, who are a late entrant. After much discussion whether to have 4 or 6 teams. And that's 5. And then the last team is Porsche.
Ooh, looks like Max and Lanatron had a little bit of scuffle coming into the final corner.
Yeah, I just didn't. Oh, actually, no. Just saying, Lunatic and Max seem to be fighting it out. I can definitely see some fiery comments in the Discord chat, that's for sure, after the race.
Right. So, we've got, you said Alfa, Jaguar, Aston Martin, Mercedes, BMW, and Porsche. And what are your current predictions for the teams?
What, for this race or the actual championship as a whole?
Let's go with the car manufacturers. Who do you think the teams in this lobby will come out on top?
So in this specific lobby, in this round, I wouldn't have said it before in my prediction, but I would say Aston Martin look really good with Lunatic Pole. I can see definitely a podium, but I don't think they'll win, because I reckon either Max, in fact, I know I'm definitely going to say Max will take the victory in this lobby. I think he's quite hungry after coming second last season in GMTC behind Elegna, and if he can just keep it all together and reduce the amount of mistakes, then I can definitely see him having the pace to win.
Yeah, hopefully they all get all warmed up, because I think Max is going to have a little bit of issues if he continues to go at his current, I would say, cold phase, because he's currently spinning it a little bit.
Yeah, he's going for a Sebastian phase. We all hope he can go through, but I reckon he's definitely got the pace. The same with Lunatic, who's another driver who's really, really fast. Prone to a couple of mistakes, but if he can iron those out, I know he's a great racer, having managed to drive with him in a couple of races. He's definitely one of the most respectable racers out there.
Oh yeah, for sure. He barely eking out that 1 point ahead of points in RSGT this season.
Oh, is he actually leading the championship then in RSGT?
He actually, he's the champion for privateers this season. We actually finished up a couple weeks ago.
In privateers, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I would know, but having raced for most of the season at the back or disconnecting, I didn't know too much. But anyway, we're going for our first stuck check.
All right, awesome.
And hopefully it's not too chaotic and people can actually get off the line.
Yeah, for sure. While they're doing this, I'm going to grab my coffee for 1 sec.
So, for any of the viewers that are not aware, so stuck check just to make sure they can all get off the line. Usually results in a lot of chaos at turn 1. Usually the brakes are not used, although they tend to, in this case they are clean. Bit of chaos going into Druid's corner. Max going for move up the inside, which is actually successful. And at this point the race director will probably be asking them to leave, because everyone seems to have got off the line. And be heading into stuck check number 2.
Alright, let's get into this.
I have to admit, stuck check was quite clean for once.
Yeah, that looked really good from what I could see.
So Alex has spun it out of the pits. Going the wrong way. I mean, that's a new tactic, I suppose, for that time.
Hey, it's Brands Hatch 2. You know, the reverse version.
Oh god, no, I can't imagine this track backwards. It'd be crime against nature.
I just recently watched that how to mess up a racetrack Brands Hatch.
Oh yeah, great series.
It was definitely an interesting layout. I would love to drive those chicanes.
Oh no, chicanes are the bane of my life. Like, I would probably be fairly alright at racing if it wasn't for chicanes / slow corners.
Alright, so here we go with Lobby 1. We'll be getting started now with the second stuck check. Let's go ahead and go over the teams. With the first one, we're looking at the Alfa Romeo. We've got Jake, Dan, and Harry, as well as Cooper will be running in the Alpha today. We've got Jaguar. We're going to be running with Alphatron and Lanatron. Ooh, little bit sketchy. Got one off.
Nothing too much for a stuck check. It's quite normal.
Oh, for sure. We've got Aston Martin. We're going to be running with Lunatic Punk and Vopsy. Mercedes will be running with Nico and Desmania this time around. Looks like AFC will not be joining us.
I think AFC is in lobby 2. I think there's been a change there.
Okay. And BMW will be Max Bailey and K Alex. And Porsche will be Top Hat Bear and Genesis.
So I presume there's a third stuck check, and then we're going into quali?
Yes. So they should be doing their third stuck check, and then they will qualify for 12 minutes.
We haven't talked about this. Any predictions for pole position around the Brands Grand Prix circuit?
Say again?
Do you have any sort of predictions for who will be on pole?
So it really depends on the driver's strategy, because what tire you take is going to be what tire you race with. So if you're taking mediums into your qualifying, you have to start your race in mediums. So if they take mediums, it will be either Nico or Max for sure. They are currently running a minute 22 in their lap times. So they are extremely fast on the mediums. But if they want to go the whole race for the first stint on mediums, then they will definitely be on pole.
seems qualifying has started. As there were no issues, it seems there wasn't the third stuck check.
Okay.
So Nika's on medium, so he's clearly going for strategy involving sort of, if he gets pole position, just do a Vettel a la 2013, just sort of leg it.
Yeah.
And the rest of the field. It seems that most of the field's gone for mediums. Looking at Lana though, going for the hards. Performance between the mediums and the hards isn't too big, but still because it's significant enough to cost some positions on the grid.
Oh yeah, for sure. From my experience, you start losing about a half a second after about lap 8 and 9, and that can be the biggest difference in this race, especially depending on how many laps you've got.
Yeah, and as I first thought, it will be a third stuck check. Seems race control just letting the drivers get a bit of a feel for what quality could be.
It looks like
which will be starting.
Looks like we are missing one Alfa Romeo. I am not sure if he is incoming or not.
Now, who would that Alfa Romeo be? Just thinking.
That would be Cooper.
Cooper, right. So they're going to turn 1. 2 Aston's leading, of course, in front of the British fans, and carnage has already occurred.
Alright, so it looks like we'll be getting started with qualifying as soon as everyone comes out of this stuck check. So looks like we'll be getting started with round 1 of EMTC.
And qualifying has begun.
Lunatic Punk coming out first, followed by Nico, followed by Top Hat, Max, and K Alex. Following is...
How important do you think qualifying is, like, especially in these type of races?
I think it is the most important, especially depending on your strategy. If you're going to take mediums and you're going to take pole, you want to get out as far as you can so that you can make your hard tires last the longest, because you're definitely going to be at least half a second or maybe even a second slower on hards in this track.
Yeah. I mean, it's a quite a unique track with its own challenges, isn't it, Brands?
Yes.
Especially turn 1.
Yeah, for sure. We've got them coming around the... What turn is this? I need a track map. Well, they're coming down around the final corner, sort of. We'll be heading into the final straight.
So, just checking BOP, which is one of the most important things. Just make sure the drivers are not getting a competitive advantage. So Lunatic is leading the pack in qualifying. Nico's made a mistake and he's already slowing down off the racing line.
I'm gonna follow Lunatic Punk on board right now. See how he does for his lap.
So breaks down second gear. Bit wide at the apex, but gets a lovely exit, which is the main thing you need out of that corner, because this is probably the longest straight on the circuit.
Oh yeah, that wide exit, you need all of the length. You need to get as much as you can.
Fourth gear through there, nice and tidy, although again a tad wide. Third gear, clipping the apex beautifully. Bit of skirmish rear end on the Aston, and now heading into one of my favourite part corners. Third gear, just clipping the inside, being careful not to cut. Second gear through this second penultimate corner, and going along to the final corner, which is all about that exit once again. You can see he's getting...
Oh, a little wide, and Max Bailey followed him off. Oh, nope, that was a little bit of lag. Max
That Max
Bailey.
goes fastest.
Oh yeah, he's got that 122.8. Desmania
So,
123.1.
yeah, Lunatic seemed to be a bit cautious on his lap. Definitely a lot more time to be found there, and if I was a Lunatic, I'd probably be letting Max through, a bit of a touch.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially with Lunatic being on the hards, he's gonna be a little bit slower. It looks like Lanatron is also going with the hard strategy.
Interesting, that is... I mean, like you were saying earlier, the difference between hard and mediums is... where he does go wide there, I suppose that could be a result of lower tie grip.
Yeah, definitely can't go as fast in the hards, but it will definitely last you about 15 laps on hards, which could be better in the long run. Who knows?
I mean, if you were racing in this... in this race specifically, which strategy would you choose? Which would suit you more? Going on the mediums at the start of the race? Or the
Personally,
hards?
I was running
Oh,
124s, and they were hard to get any faster than a 124. It was very low too. It was like a 124.3. And personally, I think that getting into the faster times it's harder, especially on the mediums. After about lap 8 to 9, you start running 124s anyway, just because you might have squirrely grip and race conditions can be a little bit different, especially if you got people following you. I definitely think hards are going to be a solid strategy.
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say Brand is impossible to overtake at, but if you're going for the mediums, you've got to be confident that you can be at the front. And Nico at the moment, fastest second sector as he goes into the third sector. Runs a little bit wide, but gets a fairly good exit. Bit of dirty air coming out from Alex. Fourth gear, interesting choice. Most I've seen so far taking third. He's about 2 tenths purple at the moment. Runs up to the curb beautifully as he heads towards the final corner, now getting a slipstream from Alex. Nessica turns a bit of dirty air through the final corner. Third gear, runs a tad wide. Cuts back in though, and see what he can do on the mediums. Brilliant. 122.4.
Now they're all coming in for their change of tires. Looks like Max also had some suspension damage, so it's really interesting to see how he does.
Yeah, he seems to have struggled with the final corner because he basically lost it. He ran out wide onto the gravel and the car spun round into the wall. So he's got to be wary of that. That could cost him big time.
From what it looks like, do you know who's race directing in our lobby today?
He's race directing. You know what, that is a very good question, and because Bam Bam is currently a safety car driver, so technically I'm... but the thing is, it's a strange one, because usually we would have a race director as well as the streamers, but I'm sort of race director in a weird sort of way. I don't know, because apparently it's weird, because apparently we've got a speaker.
Okay. Well, looks like I will be calling a safety car in case of any events of crashes.
So you've got the red button then, basically.
Yes. I will be informing Bam Bam of any offs that are extremely serious.
I mean, it's what they categorise as extremely serious. I mean, engine damage is probably the most common cause, but if there's a massive pile-up as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. Something that will probably definitely affect people moving through the course. I'll definitely see if that will be worthy of a safety car.
So we're 8 minutes into qualifying, 4 minutes to go. Any sort of change to your predictions?
Well, it looks like
At the
the
moment,
Mercedes has got a really good pace around the track. I might be completely wrong. The Mercedes might be really, really good. I heard that the previous champion, the Great Wizard, handed Team Mercedes a really good tune.
yeah, it's Mercedes, of course, last season won at the circuit. They also won their driver, Wizard, obviously the champion from last season, also the constructors' champions from last season. I always underestimate them because they've got Mercedes has got a great package, but they've also got a great tune, obviously from Wizard. So see how they're doing. Max comes across the line. He's still 2 tenths off.
I think if they keep their pace where they're at right now, Mercedes could definitely pull it through.
I mean, I'm just looking through the rest of the field. So at the moment, so we've got a Mercedes, then a BM, then a Porsche, then we've got another BMW. So it seems the BMW is definitely a very good car. Aston 5th, struggling for a bit of pace with Lunatic Punk, but he is on the hards.
Yeah.
So actually, to be only 2 seconds off the pace, could probably find a bit more time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Then we've got Genesis, who's half a second off Lunatic, and the Porsche. Porsche struggling a little bit. The Jag is also struggling, 7th of Lana. Vopsy 8th as the Aston. So definitely the Porsche and Aston struggling.
Don't forget that Nico, he had to leave and rejoin the lobby. He may have to reset his lap time.
Yeah, of course that is.
Or he may have to start at the back of the grid.
I mean, if he's rejoined, as long as he gets a lap time in, I don't see any reason why not. He cannot. I mean, he cannot participate in qualifying. I mean, he's got to be quick about it. He's only got an extra minute and 20 to get back around, starts flying that. Lana is parked on the side, clearly either gone for a break or doesn't think he can find more time on those hard tyres.
I think
Don't blame the hards can be nightmare.
I think he may have set his time that he was expecting, and he was just like, well, 1 lap was good enough.
Surprised me of Kimi Räikkönen a little bit in that regard.
Max off.
Definitely surprised me.
That's K. Alex.
Where is K. Alex? He's 4th, right?
Currently running 4th. He was off. I don't think he will be able to set anything better with the suspension damage, but he's gonna try for sure. Oh, no.
He's coming in. It's the end of his qualifying, and it's really unfortunate.
I don't think he'll be able to set another lap. He won't come around for when 12 minutes hits.
Yeah, so we've got this Mania. We're just seeing if he's got any damage. No, so he's clearly going to go for a hot lap. Tyres slightly worn. Braking just under the little bridge. Goes slightly wide onto the marbles. Cuts back and hits the apex on the late apex. Gets a bit of a poor exit though. Down by 2.5 tenths. The car really struggling. I don't think he's going to improve on his lap time. Let's see who else is behind him. So we've got Max. K-Alex is out again, which is quite surprising because he's not going to make it back round. He's only 12 minutes. So could this be tactics from BMW? Surely Alex wouldn't come back out.
Trying to give Max the draft?
Actually, that is also a good point, yeah. Although Max has gone wide though, has probably screwed his lap over slightly.
He is a little squirrely.
Yeah, the cars they've seen, especially on the mediums, he's still purple though. The rest of his lap must have been absolutely amazing.
That draft is really helping him out.
I mean, yeah, I'm just trying to run back to the rules. Is drafting allowed? Surely,
I'm not totally sure.
because I have the feeling the stewards are going to have a good look at that, and he doesn't go pole.
He
So
does
that's
improve, but now he's only less than a tenth of a second behind Mercedes. But it looks like we've got Team Mercedes rolling in 1-2 with Nico on a 122.4, and we've got Dismania at a 122.4 as well, with only what is that, a hundredth of a second? Wow.
yeah, the top three spread by just over a tenth of a second, so really close.
And we've got Top Hat Bear. He is running a 122.8. K Alex still running a lap time. Not totally sure. But his fastest time recorded 123.4. Next we've got Lunatic Punk 124.3 in those racing hearts. Jake Dan Harry 124.4. He is running in the mediums though. So Lunatic is really fast on those hard tires. Genesis running in the hard tires as well. He ran a 124.8. Lanatron running a 124.9, also running the hards. And then we've got the safety car. And here comes Cooper.
Yeah, so he'll be starting at the back of the field. And, well, Nick on pole, I always underestimate the guy, that he is a very, very quick driver. And he's in a great position to take the victory. Although, since moving to Mercedes, we've got two Mercedes on the front row, like you suggested. Do you reckon one of them might be used to hold up Max to allow the other to take the victory?
You know, I would not put it behind that to be their strategy. It is a good strategy, but it can be frustrating for sure.
Yeah, especially being chosen to be the number 2 driver can be, well, you might disobey team orders, but I suppose in the interest of the team, you hold up the driver behind.
Looks like we've got a backwards race between Nico and Max coming down the straight.
Yeah, just send that. Nico, of course, ahead. I think that's correlates to his pole position. I mean, just look at the lines they're taking. You can tell these are very talented drivers. I mean, Max, look at the straight line speed of that BMW going backwards. And
oh no,
he spun around.
Spun round.
Thought he was going to go for a move down the inside there, going backwards. So
Oh
that's
yeah,
a bit disappointed.
that BMW going 70 miles per hour in freedom units. Not too familiar with kilometers per hour, so
Oh no, I can never do kilometers either. So miles per hour is definitely the preferred method.
So we will get started with the race fairly shortly. Looks like they are confirming the times from what I know, and we will be getting started in just a little bit. It looks like there are some people taking their restroom breaks so that they are completely drained for the race, for this 40-minute endurance race. And Top Hat with the banter as he runs into Nico.
That seems to be that or donuts. The sort of time spent between quali and the race. It's definitely an interesting time. Bam Bam going for the backwards driving game as well in the safety car. Hopefully he's not doing that in the actual race, because that could cause some issues. Turn it into a danger car.
The ultimate safety, the rear end of a safety car.
Oh yeah, no, it's got excellent crash absorption. Yeah. So at this point, like, are you thinking in your head of what are you going to do going to turn one?
Going into turn one, I would definitely take it safe. There's no point in trying to rush, especially in an endurance race. You want to take your time and figure out whether or not your pace is good enough to hold on, essentially, and whether or not you can determine if the person in front of you, or if you're a pole sitter, the person behind you, whether or not your strategy is good enough to keep you in your position, or you gain better positions later on in the race.
Yeah, because it's all about mind games again. Like, even it's the same with real life motorsport as well. It's all about the mentality.
Oh yeah, for sure.
How are you going to approach it? Alex seems to be insistent on running lap after lap.
He may not have a good enough pace. He may be trying to make sure that his pace overall is good as well.
As well as consistency, that's probably the more important thing in a race like this.
Oh yeah, for sure. With how the grass and gravel can basically take you into the pits, and you just sit there for a little while, you're going to lose a lot of time if you're not consistent.
So we're just waiting for the race to start. Waiting for Vopsy to give the green flag, and then we can get the ball rolling.
Alright, looks like we are just trying to get sorted with BOP. Let's see if we can pull this up. Let's see if we can check out the balance of power for everyone today.
What I'm looking at seems to be all good.
Mercedes, we are looking at 564, 1325. Looks good. If I convert that to pounds, 26, 29.21 actually. It looks like both Mercedes are good. BMW, we're looking at 555 horsepower, 29.23 in pounds, also good. Porsche is going to be running 529 and 29.03. They are also good. Aston Martin 576 and 28.66, also good. Looking at the 4C, 519 and 28-24. Good. And we're just looking at the F-type. That's the last one. Jaguar. 563 and 29-21. Yeah, that looks like everybody is good.
The race should be starting in a second. Just some concerns from the drivers, just making sure everything's going to run as cleanly as possible.
Well, that is right. Alphatron is not here right now.
That is a good point, actually, because he's meant to be hosting the lobby.
Alright, looks like we are getting started with the first race of the season, EMTC Round 1 at Brands Hatch.
Waiting for the 5 red lights to go out.
I will start with K. Alex running in the chase cam, see how this start goes.
Engines roar, so wait for the lights to go out. Nico's got the most pressure from pole position, revving the car up, and off they go.
Off we go. A little bit wide,
All seems clean so far.
Looks really clean. We've got Nico up front, taking those corners real clean. Looks like he's got a solid run of the course. Desmania in second, Bailey in third. Top Hat is spun.
Into the wall.
That has put him down.
In the medical car, in this instance, will just keep behind, make sure to sort of stay with that car, make sure they can get to pits.
Yeah, he's got some damage there. I'm not totally sure if that's going to be totally warranted. I did not see if that was a spin because of traction or he got hit. It looks like K-Alex also has damage. Let's see who else might have damage. We've got Lanatron with some front end on his front bumper. We got Cooper doing a little bit of shuffle as he comes through the corner.
Seems to be quite a few of the cars suffered some minor damage. So K-Alex holding up the field. Lunatic Bucks can go for the move up the inside into turn 1. Is he going to do it? Yes, he is. On the hard tyres, Alex had a really poor start on those mediums, and well, it's not brilliant. I mean, it could be worse if you start on the hards and got the damage, and probably be a bit worse. But I think it will be fine, considering he will need to pit fairly early on those mediums anyway.
Oh yeah, for sure. It looks like they're already having issues. K-Alex definitely should have came in for the repairs on his car. He is not going to have good pace.
Maybe the strategy try and because at the moment he's only been passed by Lunatic. He's holding up the rest of the field fairly well. The damage is to the suspension, yeah, that will slow him down a bit, but being around Brands is not be quite as catastrophic as around some other circuits. He's got a massive penalty, which I'd say is a big concern as well. But looking at the front again, Nico is still leading, and Mercedes holds it. Brilliant save.
Little
Boy,
squirrely. Oh yeah, for sure. We got Max. He's definitely hungry for that second spot. He definitely wants to overtake this Mania. He doesn't want to keep running behind. It looks like this Mania may be running a little bit of blocking to keep Max as far as away from Nico as possible. We've got a 2-second gap as well between third and fourth, so it's definitely going to be a race to see how these tires hold up.
Yeah, I think Lunatic is in a really good position on those hard tyres. Yes, he's falling off a little bit off Max, but Max continues to get held up by this Mania, and they scramble a little bit. Lunatic will be in a really good position considering he's on the hard tyres, which should be quite a bit slower than those mediums at this stage.
Oh yeah, Lunatic is in a great position. Nico is going to run away with it as long as Max keeps getting held up.
2 Alphas running at the back of the field in 8 and 9. And looks like Top Hat's had a miserable start to the race in P11.
Looks like Top Hat has definitely come in for the damage. He doesn't want to keep running with that damage on his car. KLX is still out. He's got a penalty. Don't know if he should have served that on a straight. He is getting a little squirrely, and he is getting pressured by Vopsy.
Vopsy off go for the move now. He's getting held up, and yes, he is into turn 1. Dives it down the inside.
Ooh.
And a bit of ghosting down the part of Alex, but it's all good. A bit of argy-bargy, and Vopsy is through. Although Alex is going to come back.
Oh no.
Switch back.
Alex definitely a little aggressive with his turn-ins. I don't think Alex should be fighting here. He should be just trying to keep it safe, especially with his car as it is. He should definitely try not to risk any bumps anymore to that car.
I mean, if you were him now, he's stayed out, would you commit to staying out, or would you come in as soon as possible, knowing you're losing time?
In my opinion, I think that in this team effort, you definitely want as many points as you can get. And the longer Alex stays out, the higher chance that he's going to end up lower on the grid at the end of the race.
Vopsy's not pulling away from Alex. The gap is still around 3 temps, and Alex could come under attack of AMS Cooper, going onto the main straight. Lana P7, Alex P6. This is looking like the most hotly contested bunch of positions at the moment. There's
Cooper on the outside.
A bit ambitious there, mate. I don't think you're going to pass around the outside of turn 1. He's going to get a great exit on the Jag. Has to stick for P8 at the moment. Goes for a slightly wider line to get a good exit. And off he goes.
Oh no.
Lana is off.
Lanatron has, he still has that front damage to his aerodynamics, so he's definitely not as fast as he could be. He could be definitely going a little bit faster. Going off will definitely not help him catch back up now that he's out of the slipstream of everyone else. Returning back to... Oh yeah. Returning back to Vopsy and Alex and Cooper as they try and take over for 5, 6, and 7 in terms of position. Cooper is definitely trying to run up into K-Alex as K-Alex continues to run slower and slower with all of that damage. I don't know if he's going to just keep going, but it's definitely going to be dangerous for BMW if he keeps going slower and slower.
I'm just thinking if there's any tactics going on here. Is there any reason Alex to be left out by BMW? He's getting past left, right, and centre now.
Yeah, you know, he was running 124s on those mediums, and with the suspension damage, The best he can do is these 126 and 127s, and he's fighting for positions now. I definitely don't think it's a good idea to stay out. He definitely should have came in to fix all of that suspension damage. It's not going to help him out at all. Cooper does let him through, but he's just going to keep fighting for his position, and it's not going to be good for the car at the end because his tires are going to wear out faster. He's not going to have great control through any of these corners, especially he's going to need all the speed he can get coming out of these corners. He definitely is going to lose a lot of time here.
Surely Cooper's got to do it now. He's made a bit of a job of it so far. Yeah, goes up the inside. Good move, committed. I was going to give Alex a bit of praise a bit earlier going into turn 1 and into Druids. Held off the Alpha.
Oh yeah.
But I think he had a little chance there on the back straight.
I think there is just a matter of time, and Alex is going off of the course, sliding through those corners. He definitely needs to come in. I don't see it working out. He's going to lose too much time. It's not going to be worth staying out. He's going to stay out, so looks like that's going to be his strategy. He's going to try and keep the mediums lasting as long as he can.
Mediums are not time wear-wise, they're not losing that much. Wearing a little bit, of course, but I think not too bad. Tasmania, Nico still running very good pace. Max, Lunatics running still considerably slower than top 3, so maybe the crossover point is not quite there yet.
The pace between 4 and 5, I think Lunatic's got the consistency down. He's got those 124s going on for him, where everyone behind him is running about the 126, 127 range. Vopsy just set a 124 2 laps ago, so I think he's going to have some issues keeping pace with Lunatic Punk if he's going to try and catch on those hard tires. I do think, however, that Desmania is actually catching on Nico, with Nico running slightly slower now, and Desmania is actually improving his lap times a little bit per lap in comparison to Nico.
I mean, just look at that tyre. I think Nico blown his tyres a little bit in the first few laps. Look at the difference in tyre wear.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think Tasmania's definitely nurtured those tyres, and I think that's coming back to him. P3 Max is also looking very feisty.
This is going to be an interesting race, see if they can get any closer. I don't think that Desmania is going to want to pressure Nico, and I think they're just going to really coast for the next couple of minutes.
Right, so Kay, Alex, Lana are into the pits. They've just come out right now. So Alex has clearly had enough. He's gone to the hard, so can make it to the end of the race. Well, he's going to be a bit slow in the last couple of laps, I'd imagine. Top up there is right on the tail box of on Alex as well. You can see him passing on those slightly warmer tyres. Hards are definitely quite difficult to get up to this temperature. Now looking at Genesis. Perhaps going for a move on Jake, although chooses to stay behind.
Ooh, slightly touching on Jake. No damage though, but there is rear damage on Jake. Interesting.
Perhaps Genesis got a bit excited on the brakes. Quite easy to do, and there's a bit of a tail happiness there. He's going to go around the outside. Beautiful move by the Porsche.
And we're looking up here with 2 and 3. Max is pressuring now, and he is slightly off the track, but Max is definitely trying to pull and move for second position now as Desmania goes slightly slower. He might be going through a little bit of a hard time going through the corners now with a little bit of tire wear.
You can tell Max wants this. He's really pushing on those tyres. His tyres are quite worn as well. BMW is known for having fairly low tyre wear, but I have a feeling being held up behind the Mercedes of Desmania has not helped him. I think he really needs to get that move on as soon as possible, because at the moment he's slightly compromised.
Yeah, the tire wear is definitely hurting Max slightly, but he's got the pace to pass over Desmania. I don't think he'll do it this lap. He'll definitely try and push for the next lap for sure. I think he's going to try and give Desmania the run for his money. With Nico, he seems to be okay with his pace now. Even with the tire wear, he's still running those 123s pretty consistently.
Max looking feisty, less than 3 attempts. He's going to go for a dive up the inside. If he makes this, this will be a great lunge. He's got a good exit, or so has the Mercedes. Mercedes is going to stay ahead on the virtue of being on the outside of the corner, getting a better exit. He's going to stay ahead for now, but Max is really attacking Des now.
Yet the Mercedes slots back into second. It was only very brief, but definitely a position change there. Max is definitely looking for it, but that Mercedes got that straight line, and Desmania still has that slipstream draft from Nico, so it looks like they're going to be still pulling, further and further away. This top 3 is definitely giving a huge gap.
Yeah, Lunatic is doing a very clean race. I'll have to give it to him on those hard tyres. Perhaps I have a feeling that the guys in the mediums have chosen the right strategy. I don't know about you, but that gap, 12 seconds, 15 seconds to lead. Do you really think he can close that, even being on the mediums at the end of the race? I mean...
Now, they have to swap into the other tire compound. So, depending on Nico and, the Mercedes pace and Max, it could be, a huge thing. He could catch that 15 seconds over a course of a couple of laps. Now, safety car has not come out yet. That is one thing to consider.
Do you reckon there will be a safety car? I'm quite surprised at the moment it hasn't come out. The drivers have been fairly clean so far, which is quite difficult to do around at a track like France. Quite tight.
Oh yeah.
Not much room for error.
Looks like we got Jake Denharry. He's swapping onto his other tire compound.
Just for the viewers, they shouldn't need to refuel. Their fuel consumption's quite low. It's all about the tyres, whether to go for the undercut, overcut. That's also going to be another interesting question, whether the overcut or the undercut will be more powerful. I will imagine it will be the undercut.
Now, I don't think there's going to be any racing incidents at the moment, but, we've got K-Alex. He's gone off the course. I don't think, he's got that pace. Des is in. Swapping onto the hard compound.
That is quite incredible. It's taken 16 minutes, taking basically half the race. So, that is quite an incredible job from Des.
Oh yeah, 12 lap tires.
Really got a push.
Yeah, that is really good. Their tire wear, they've been managing it. They have been pushing, but they've been keeping the same lap time, 123. They keep doing the same lap times over and over. But Max is actually, he's got a good run. He's actually going to be gaining, ever so slightly on Nico right now.
Yeah, Nico's tyre seems slightly worse on the fronts, which could be indicated. It's quite difficult to say. The Mercedes, I would think, would be worse on the rears, but I suppose the track is a lot more limited on the front tyres. Although it seems to be on the BMW, there's not that much difference in tyre wear. He seems to be really on the back of the gearbox of Nico.
Oh yeah, he is now basically 2/10 away, and he's definitely pushing towards trying to make that cut in. It looks like they're both going to go into the pits now, going to be swapping tires. Nico does a little clip of the barrier, but it does not seem to have affected his car at all.
Right, Des is coming through now on the main straight. Is he going to come out in the lead? That is the question.
Looks like he will slot into third. Wow, so Max really got a good position coming out of that pit lane, coming behind Nico. I think having that run on Nico in that one lap difference between pit stops, I think it was definitely a huge difference, because now Max does not have to contend with Desmania.
So the overcuts work this time. So all these guys are now on the hard tyre. Lunatic's still on the hard. I mean, would you switch to the medium at this point, or would you leave it a couple more laps if you were Lunatic Punk?
So currently, from what I see, Lunatic Punk is actually running a solid pace. He's running 124s. He hasn't really changed his, pace between, his first lap and his second lap. He hasn't really changed from his second lap to even the 12th lap. It's just 124s all the way through. I think he's got good pace. I think he could stay out for, maybe even 10 more laps and still have the same good times, good pace.
These two are really scrapping, Max and Des. Des really desperate to get back ahead of Max and scrapping for half a lap. And they're going to come into the pits.
They're coming back in.
This is...
Oh, it looks like they might be trying to go for a two-stop. Switch back onto the mediums?
Are they? Now
wow.
That was unexpected. Lunatic goes into the lead, or does he? Nico, wait.
He's going to...
Nico maintain.
Nico will maintain P1 with Lunatic. P2 still hasn't done his mandatory pit stop yet. Max Bailey, P3, and Desmania, P4. Now, this is an interesting strategy. I did not expect that. And looks like we've got safety car now.
Which I think will be Lunatic's saving grace there, but that was such an interesting strategy. I mean, I never saw it coming. Doing one lap on hards. I mean, whether that's allowed or not, probably is. I haven't gone through the rules as probably as thoroughly as I should have, but
now this is this is really interesting. From what I can see, they swapped tires and then they did one lap and then safety car got called out. So this is actually really good for Nico.
I just saw the Alpha and Roxy scrapping a little bit to catch up to the safety car, and so just running through the order. So Nico is leading at the moment. He's made two pit stops. It's on the mediums. Lunatic on the hards, yet to make a pit stop. Really been screwed over by that strategy from the other cars. Max on the mediums has made two pit stops, same as Des in P4. Look at Vopsy. Vopsy, I'm pretty sure hasn't made a pit stop either. Cooper, I don't think, he's on the mediums. Lana, I think, has made his pit stop. Alex has got engine damage. So we didn't see something. Alex has clearly had an incident, or...
Oh, it looks like that incident may have been the reason for the safety car.
That's interesting. That was unexpected. And it seems that the guys have gone racing. The safety car is in. Nico maintains the lead. Lunatic overtaken on those worn tyres. He is defenceless.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think this is a interesting strategy that they have pulled off today. I know safety car was going to definitely basically affect whether or not you were going to take over the race or not, but it came out at just the perfect time for the top three. It was that time where they've only done that one lap on hards, and then they just swapped straight back to the mediums, and now they're just going to run away from Lunatic.
I mean, Lunatic must be absolutely fuming. If I was in a situation which can really mess with your sort of lap times. I mean, if you were him, what is the change of strategy now as he runs a bit wide? I mean, you've been screwed by the safety car and the strategy of the other guys. What would you do if you're Lunatic now?
If I was Lunatic and Vopsy has gone off, he has hit the tire barrier, well, just the regular barrier actually, and he has dropped down to 8th position as he tries to rejoin the track, 10th, and it looks like he will slot into 11th with how he is running at the moment. Alex tries to run through, and he does get the position, and will run back up here with the top of the pack with Nico, Max, and Desmania. Now, Max has still solidified his 2nd position there.
Seems to be a lot of scrapping all out through the field, at the front, the midfield, It's amazing. I was about to say that Aston Martin are having a torrid day, aren't they? I mean, really, really bad. Really poor luck, and Lunatic in fourth with a pit stop to make, and their other car spinning out, looking like they may be at the bottom of the points sheet at the end of this race at the moment.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate for Vopsy. Spinning out is not going to help Aston Martin at all. We've got, from what it looks like, we've got Porsche as well as the 4C Alfa Romeo and a Porsche in 5, 6, and 7. So, from what it's looking like, we've got, Mercedes and BMW 1, 2, and 3, Aston Martin in 4, and then Porsche and Alfa Romeo and another Porsche. So I think currently the standings could be, Mercedes, BMW, and then Porsche. It's really up to K. Alex. He's gonna need to make that run back. He's been having a rough day. He's currently running in 10th. It's not gonna help the team BMW get the manufacturers championship.
And also not how that Cooper's come out ahead of him, and on the fresh hards. In fact, I wonder if Cooper was on the mediums before, so that's interesting. It's gone onto the hards. Of course, he has to do that. They've got to make do with each of the compounds at least once during the race, and as Alphatron says, it's the yellow flag that's occurring on the main straight as a result of the safety car at the end of the pit lane. So, looking through the fields, top 3 still as close as ever, and Nico less than 4 steps ahead of Max. Max using that slipstream, but so is Des at the back of Max, and I expect this battle to rage for the rest of the race. Top Hat P4 in that Porsche being closely followed by Lunatic Punk. Although I have a feeling Lunatic Punk has just recently been overtaken by Top Hat. Top Hat's on the fresh mediums.
Oh yeah, for sure. I definitely, if I was Lunatic, I would swap onto the mediums. I think that the pace is too high with the mediums right now, and with 15 minutes left to go, they are gonna need to get as many points as they can. I think both Lunatic and Vopsy, they both need to run the mediums. Now, Cooper has gone on to the pit lane again. It looks like he may be...
Safety car.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Oh, there's a bit of a kerfuffle there, and I mean, I think it's a bit unexpected. It seems like the cars were just piling up. A bit of contact there at the previous corner. Well, that was unexpected. The second safety car. I mean, we saw someone go into the pits that maybe had engine damage, because I'm pretty sure under the safety car conditions you can only pit if you have engine damage. So maybe he was the one that had suffered from an incident.
From what I know, you can pit under safety car and change tires, even if, especially because the safety car is randomized. So this safety car is coming out just to come out.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. I wonder if the last one though, with the engine damage, do you think if it's a result of an incident, then they can only pit if they've got that damage, or they can pit whenever, basically?
I think they can pit whenever, but I definitely think if the safety car comes out for engine damage, it should be the people who have that damage. But let's see if Lunatic does go into the pit this time around.
So safety car in, and well, they've been followed by at least three cars there. Nico's going to lead them away across the line, and well, this is going to be a good opportunity for people to make their moves. Max looking at Nico. He's going to go for a dive up the inside. That's a bit opportunistic, Max.
Running Nico wide.
Nico's got this. I think he's on the inside for the next corner. Runs Max slightly wide onto the curbing. all fair, like, and now Max is vulnerable to Nico's teammate Des. He goes for a dive up the inside. Oh, Max is into the barrier. Wow. So clearly that battle's not gone well for the BMW there.
Yeah, that is very unfortunate. This is going to shake up the standings very much. We've got BMW in 8 and 10. Now, if we're looking at the standings, it looks like we've got Porsche in second. You know, we've got Jaguar, you know, the infamous Jaguar who is having issues in this track. It looks like we're going to have a Jaguar in a podium position at the moment, with the 4C, and the Mercedes has dropped down. They've got damage on their rear. Vopsy is running right behind. Aston Martin really needs to pull through. They've been running really good, but you know, with the current traffic conditions, it looks like Nico is going to run away. He's got fresh air. He's probably just going to, you know, blow out the rest of the race. It's up to this mid-pack here between, let's see, 7 to second. This is a really big pack running through this final portion of the race.
Nico must be counting his lucky stars at the moment. Couldn't have gone better for him. 2.5 second gap. Genesis seems to be holding up a bit of a train now. Look, he doesn't have damage, but his tyres are a little bit worn. I think the incident between Max and Des, it was quite difficult to make out, but it seems they were going side by side, and Max perhaps got pushed out a little bit onto the curbing, and the car sort of spun from underneath him. We'll have to look at replays after to confirm that, but very interesting what's happened there.
Yeah, Nico is just basically going to run away with that incident for Desmania and Max. I don't think there's going to be much for this last 10 minutes of the race. It's going to be a fight for a team position at this point. From what I'm seeing, it looks like Alfa Romeo might actually come out ahead here, with their positions being 4th and 7th. They might have the better point position at this point, with Nico and Desmania in 1st and 5th. You know, it's going to be a 1-2 for them, I think.
Oh, the Alpha and Des are going side by side into Druids. And Des he's Blake's on the brakes, great move. And the Alpha's falling back down of Jake. The Alpha seems to be suffering a little bit. Des should be fine to continue without hitting. Rear bumper damage isn't horrific. At worst, it will maybe cost you a couple of tenths of ultimate performance. But I mean, you're probably losing that from the dirty air anyway, running in all this traffic.
Oh yeah, for sure. This train is huge, and they're all going to be fighting for that, you know, starting position. This is the first race of the season, and who knows what's going on in the other, you know, in the other lobby. And we've got Cooper. He's gone off the track. That's not going to help him. KLX and Top Hat Bear code through. And Max Bailey is actually very far back in 11th. Do you think he's going to be able to make a run back from 11th place?
Oh, he's on the fresh mediums, which is good, but a lot of the other guys, and although he's a quick guy, at maximum I can only see him getting, without another safety car, P9. That's a 2-second gap to Cooper, 1.5 seconds. So I don't know, there's a massive train, but there's a bit of a train forming here. So we've got Alex P8, no damage, then Top Hat there, then Cooper is about 1.8 seconds back, Max 1.8 seconds back from that. So we'll have to wait and see, as Nico is really, really putting the hammer down.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Mercedes, no pun intended. Genesis P2.
Now Lonatron has actually made the move on Desmania and took it, and they were fighting for 3rd place. Desmania very briefly took over for 3rd. We did not take a look at that, but Desmania is trying to fight for that 3rd place now.
Do you reckon he can do it? Can he go for a move up the inside? It's definitely sizing up for it.
Yeah,
although it might be a bit of a madman to try it. No, he sticks behind.
I think.
Well, he's going to try it.
Yeah, he will slot in for this turn. I don't think it's worth the possible carnage to make a move at these dangerous corners. There's only a couple of corners that are safe to go through. And here goes Lanatron. He's going defensive into the corner. And there goes Desmania. He's got the run out, and Lanatron is not going to have the inside corner coming up into the final corner.
The outside of that penultimate corner seems to be quite popular for overtaking, and now Lana looks slightly vulnerable to the Alfa Romeo behind, although he might also size up and attack with Desmania. Perhaps going to go for an inside lunge. No, he's going to stick behind the Mercedes. The Alfa going slightly wide there. Yes, looking like a very hotly tested battle for P3 again. Another look from Lanatron. This train is, any of them could have their day and go get on that podium, but Nico, 8.3 second gap to Genesis.
Oh yeah, you should see right here, position 6 and 7. That's the Aston and Martins. They are basically fighting it out between the team, and you know they need to be pushing, and they're gonna probably, you know, draft on each other trying to catch up to the rest of the grid, and they're gonna probably want to get this advantage going on into the team championship. They want to get some more places. They're gonna want to challenge Lanatron, Jake Dan Harry, and Desmania for these places up here, up to P3.
Oh, Genesis, he's lost the rear. He's got engine damage.
Oh no! There's a lot of carnage. There's a lot of carnage going out here.
Will the safety car be called out? There's only 6 minutes left. I have a feeling not. And that could be the end of his race. The Porsche there, Genesis, really unlucky. I mean, going side by side through that corner, he got slightly unsettled in the previous corner and got slammed into the back by the Aston. I don't think there's much the Aston could do there. He was already slamming on the brake.
Oh yeah, that is really
was
unfortunate.
Sent in.
Genesis and Lunatic go into the pits. They want to fix that damage. Genesis has got that engine damage.
That's I think the end of their race. There's not going to be another safety car, surely.
There is not, unfortunately.
The safety car has, in fact, driven off back into the pits, because obviously was causing a bit of a yellow flag issue. But Nico controlling the race where he's probably best at. He's wonderful at just controlling the race.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think Desmania is going to be fairly happy. It's going to be a Mercedes 1-2 looking like it. It's 5 minutes left. 2.5 second gaps to Lana. The top two in the world of their own, especially Nico. And, well, I think it's going to be a repeat of last season.
With Mercedes powering through 1-2, we've got a battle here for P3 and all the way down to P5. You know, they are a little bit spread, but they are definitely catching on each other. And there's a little bit of train. K. Alex has actually recovered significantly. And Max Bailey is up into 8th now, so he has recovered from that incident with Lunatic Punk and Genesis. It has caused a definite benefit to Team BMW today.
Yeah, the P7, P8 with Top Hat and Max Bailey teammates from last season going hammer and tongue for P7, and all the points are worthwhile in the end. The gap between BMW and Mercedes last season wasn't that big, so every point is needed as Porsche does a little slide, Genesis through Paddock Hill Bend. So, returning back to the train, Lana leading by about 0.7 of a second from the Alfa Romeo of Jake Dan Harry. Then Vopsy, P5, Alex, P6 with a penalty, so that's definitely not going to help him. And I think that's the end of that train. Although Top Hat there, Max going side by side. Top Hat is just ahead, going to the next corner. Don't make contact, lads.
Now they've got
penultimate corner.
They've got 3 minutes left, so these last few laps are going to be the big deciders on the championship. I think the train to get the 3rd position. Now, that's Lanatron, Jake Dan Harry, Vopsy, and K. Alex. K. Alex has got a penalty, like you said. I think this is going to be a huge, huge battle for the final podium position here. Here goes K. Alex. He's gone through the inside. He is pushing Vopsy a little bit. A little bit of ghosting going on there.
Oh, the joys of online connectivity.
Oh yeah, for sure. Bopsy pushes K Alex out onto that little runway out of that corner. He's got the inside coming out to this straight. Looks like he is
Alex, I
going
see
to
what you're
secure
doing
his
there.
place. K Alex is going to slot in to 6th place. Jake Dan Harry is pulling away from that train behind him as Evopsy and K Alex fight for that 5th position. Lonatron seems to be pulling away.
Yeah, just looking at the tyres, Lola's got very good rear tyres, so in that Jag, so it's definitely confirming that some of the cars are much better on their rear tyres, some are worse than their front tyres. The Mercedes we saw earlier with Nico seemed to suffer from a bit from that, but obviously the safety car and strategy paying dividends. And looking through the field now, top up there, Max still knows the tail. This is going to be a great battle, I can feel, brewing the last 2 minutes. AMS top hat there, probably going to go for the defensive line, I think. Max is less than 2 tenths. He's going to go for the outside.
Max goes for the move. They're going for the move. How is this turn going to turn out? Oh, that pushes Top Hat wide. Max is going to go through. I don't know how Top Hat Bear is going to take that one. Who knows if that was going to be a racing incident. Max is going to keep going through.
I think it's quite difficult to say. From the initial contact, Max did push Top Hat a bit wide, but I'd imagine Top Hat would be able to gather that up. I mean, the stewards looking back at it will probably give some sort of reprimand because he's gained a position through contact, which is not exactly smiled upon in racing. We'll leave it to that.
Oh yeah, this is going to be one of the final laps. I think they will be able to come through at least one more lap through for at least what looks like to be their 28th lap. With 44 seconds to go, I think they'll get at least one more go around. It looks like...
I think you were spot on, 28 laps. The initial prediction, so...
Oh yeah, I definitely thought it was going to be about that much. Now, looks like Lonatron is getting caught up with Jake Dan Harry, Vopsy, and Alex. They are all fighting for that position. Jake Dan Harry does look like he's going to have a rough time through that corner, and they're going to spin. Oh no! And Jake Dan Harry goes into the wall. He's not going to have a good race. I think that is going to be the end of it. And he gets pushed off. Oh no! That is awful. That is the two alphas, and they're going to have issues coming out now. This is not good for Cooper or Jake Dan Harry. Cooper comes out with some suspension damage. Jake Dan Harry with engine damage. Oh, that is awful.
I mean, I've never said anything like it. I mean, it's to hit your team. I think a bit unfortunate in those circumstances. But I don't think this man in P1 is going to care. Nico's driven an absolutely phenomenal race, great strategy, and he's going to be leading Mercedes 1-2. Spaniards, we all know he's an absolutely brilliant racer. So he's going to come through the final corner to win the British Grand Prix.
There he goes through. Now let's take a look at this battle up here for P3. Lonatron is still trying to keep that position. It looks like he will through the final corner. Bopsy, he's going to come through. Max Bailey tries to get that run, but he is not going to get it. I think it is going to be Lonatron, Bopsy, Max, 4, 3, 4, and 5. Lunatic for 6, Top Hat for 7, K Alex for 8th. We're going to have Cooper coming in 9th, and Jake Dan Harry. He is going to come in with those engine issues in 10th place, and Genesis is going to finish 11th.
I mean, probably a great start to the season, I'd say. A great race, a lot of drama, controversy, lots to talk about afterwards, and I think Nico's probably deserved it.
Now, taking a look at the standings, it's going to be, for the team championship, Mercedes, Aston Martin, and let's see who else. Race results. It looks like to me, it could be Mercedes, Aston Martin, and maybe BMW. I think that's what it's going to be. Save this replay for these guys. Make sure that there's a review in place. But I'll get this race results again up here. We'll run through the results again. We've got Nico in first, Desmania in second, Lonatron in third, Fopsy in fourth, Max Bailey in fifth, Lunatic Punk in sixth, AMS Top Hat in seventh, K Alex in eighth, Cooper in ninth, Jake Dan Harry in 10th, Genesis in 11th, and the safety car in 12th.
Did you just say the safety car in 12th?
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Well, I think the safety car, is taking Alphatron's place in this condition.
Yeah, I mean, it's done a great job, P12. It's only been lapped a few times, so yeah, great job.
Now, this is an interesting start to the manufacturers. We've got Mercedes in first. Now, we've got two Aston Martins in fourth and sixth. That will give them the point advantage over BMW, with BMW in fifth and eighth. So I believe, in terms of overall standings, it's Mercedes, Aston Martin, and BMW.
Well, I have to say again that it was a brilliant race to kick off season 2, and I hope you have enjoyed watching the chaos and drama unfold.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that if you guys enjoyed watching this race, you guys should definitely check out GTSRL.tv. Check out our Discord and sign up for the next series that you can possibly join, because we've got tons of races going on, just like EMTC, the European Manufacturers Touring Championship. If you're interested, check out GTSRL TV.
And that is it from us, so thank you for watching. I know a bit chaotic at the start in terms of organising stuff, but I hope we've brought you some great action, and we hope to see you again.
Yep. Thank you guys for coming by. If you liked, make sure to follow me. I'll be doing more broadcasting of all of these series, and y'all have a good morning or night wherever you're located.